Same thing, you're like, oh, I can't believe I have to do this again. Okay, but there's something more for you to learn and grow from. I'm not going to say that's really fun and you're not going to like it, or you're going to like it, okay? But it's part of the bigger plan. So, you know, sometimes prayers don't get answered for your highest and best, okay? But it shouldn't keep you from asking and being open. All right, any questions before we go right into it? So we're going to work on letting go. How many of you want to let go of stuff? Okay. Okay, so the first thing is to really say, and again, we're going back to desire, intention. You really want to let go or move away from something or transform something that you just don't want to do anymore.
Karen,
okay?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
And my question is, I put it out there, I put what I want out there, and like you said, with the businesses, you had different choices. How do you know what to trust and what not to trust?
Okay. As far as
when you're asking for the answer and you've got choices, am I
Okay.
using my gut, am I using my brain, am I letting it...
well, you know, and we'll get into that later, but
Okay.
I'll answer it quickly because you're going to ask for divine support and help. So, if, like, let's say you have 3 choices. You're talking about jobs.
Sure.
In general. Okay, so let's say you're manifesting, all of a sudden 3 opportunities come to you. What I do with clients is I actually have them sit in quiet. I have them put their hand on their heart, and I ask them to, okay, let go of everything, and you can do this by yourself. First, you can ask, okay, I'm thinking about this specific job. Go into that one specific job. Keep your hand on your heart because you don't want to go in your head. So you want to breathe into your heart and you want to say, how does this one feel? And check in, because your intuition is one of your greatest guides. And your intuition, everybody has intuition. I don't care if you think you're not intuitive or psychic or, you know, everybody has feelings, everybody has intuition. So you can check in, separate each job and check in. The other thing you can do, and which I've done many times when I didn't know what the best choice was that I would ask for an undeniable sign from my angels to help me confirm that that's the choice. So, for example, when I was getting ready to sign the lease, there was a little glitch, and she wanted to go up in price a little bit. And I was like, then I thought, well, maybe this is my sign it's not supposed to be. I need confirmation. I'm signing the lease tomorrow. I need an undeniable sign, something to tell me that this is in the highest and best. I took the book, James Twyman's book, The Barn Dance. I was going to a workshop. I took it to the gym. I need to finish reading it. This was the morning I was signing the lease. And I was just praying and asking, and now I'm reading the book. I'm just working out. And I closed the book, and all of a sudden on the front of the book, there was a barn with a window just like this, and it said, where heaven on earth come together and meet as one. And I was like, huh. I had tears. I'm on elliptical crying. I'm like, that's it. I do the same thing. When something, I have to make a decision, and I say, is this in the highest decision? I need this specific sign. I was looking for a center like 10 years ago. I thought it was the time. I thought I was ready. It was Mother's Day. I was asking the Blessed Mother, I've got to sign this lease. You've got to give me the sign of, I gave her a specific sign. I'll never forget, I'm waiting up at 12, I think it was a bird, some kind of bird or something. I'm waiting up at 12 o'clock, looking out in the dark, at night, waiting for my sign. Got nothing. I was so disappointed. I didn't get it, but I trusted at that point that she was trying to say this is not the time. 1 month later, my sister suddenly passed. Can you imagine opening a center when you're grieving your sister that's all of a sudden gone at 41 years old? I would have never been able to do it and wouldn't want to do it. So it's like, thank you, thank you. You can do it either way, okay? But that's how, feel it out, check into your intuition. I swear, that's worked for me and other clients when I've worked with them. I want you to check into a couple things while you're working on letting go. I'm sure some of you know immediately what you want to let go of, okay? But I would ask you if there's anything causing you stress, fear, anxiety, anger, unforgiveness, all these really not so fun experiences, anything that is depressing you, I would ask help in letting go. And they can be emotions, they can be situations. If it's a relationship, you can ask for what you want to feel. I just want to feel peace. How many have tried to change or control other people in their life? Raise your hand if it works. Okay? So, you know, this is really important because you want to put on your list what you have in control of changing. So you can't change how your boss is going to be towards you, correct? What do you need to let go of what's happening inside you in relation to the boss? So, you know, this past year, one of my words, which I'll explain later, was freedom. Because I really wanted to be free from the bonds that I held around my ex-husband. And that big one was anger, okay, and unforgiveness. So I wanted to be free. I wanted to have peace. I knew I couldn't control him anymore. I tried for 15 years. It didn't work, okay? So you've got to figure out what you need to let go of in order for that situation to be healed or brought to peace. If you put on your list, I want so-and-so to change, and I want them to be this way. Good luck. That miracle may happen, but you're going to be more powerful and you're going to have more control in your life when you work on yourself. Okay? If there is an unhealthy habit you have, put it on there. If there is, you know, if you really can't stand your job, put it on there. Remember, our prayer is, if it's in my highest and best, in the highest and best of all, then this will manifest. Let the universe take care of that. Let your higher self take care of that. But if you're miserable, then put down you don't want to be miserable anymore. So start writing anything and everything because you're getting it out of your head. You're getting it on paper, which creates intention. Example of what they want to let go of? Anybody?
I do.
Go ahead.
My commute.
Your commute. Perfect. Because how does that make you feel? Doesn't make her feel like herself. It's a waste of time, frustrated and angry. When we go into working with the divine and you surrender it, then you're asking for help. How can you shift that? How can you not have a commute but still enjoy what you do and still do what you're meant to do? Sibling jealousy, that is a good one. That's a great one. So that's something that you would set as an intent. And instead of feeling sibling jealousy, what do you really want to feel? Love, okay. And that's probably unconditional love for yourself as well as unconditional love for them. That's a great one. Health, okay. You don't want to let go of health, do you? What part of it do you want to let go of? Now, when you're talking about health, and I would really encourage this, is ask for healing to take place on all levels. Because sometimes our physical health, correct, could be emotional, could be spiritual, could be past life stuff. So I would affirm, when we get to affirming what we want, I want to experience health and wholeness on all levels. Or I request healing on all levels.
So I want to get rid of just too much stuff. Just stuff.
Clutter, stuff?
Can't stand it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times have you gone through, I love going through stuff and letting it go. Sherry loves it too. Where's Sherry? She benefited the last time I went through my closet. But I love, because you know what? To me, that stuff, one, you energetically hold on to that. It weighs you down. It might even be represented in the past. Do you know what I mean? Stuff holds energy. So if you're holding on to it, good or bad, you might be holding on to stuff that you can really release and let go of. Have you ever noticed that when you donated stuff or you got rid of stuff or you made even a charity donation, all of a sudden money came back to you in another way? It's like let go of the old, welcome the new. So yeah, that's a great intention. Guilt, perfect. Like emotions are a big one. You know, we all have emotions. Every year there's one emotion that I want to work on and heal. This word, I'm going to talk about your word of the year, but this year one of my words is love. And that love has to do with loving myself and loving others. Okay, that acceptance and love. So that in last year my words were joy and freedom. And I had a very joyful year, and also a freeing year. Okay, so when we pick our words later, and I'll explain that more, it's a great way to set what you really want to feel in all aspects of your life. I'm practicing with you now. Instead of guilt, what do you want to experience? Forgiveness. Okay, perfect. Anybody else want to share? Self-doubt. Oh, that's a good one. See, when people say them, if you want to add it to your list, it's like somebody, there's a little earth angel in the room saying, oh, remember that one. Okay? So self-doubt is huge. And instead of self-doubt, what do you want? Confidence. Okay? So how often, now this is really key. The best, I always think a gift of awareness is when we can figure out what we don't want. So that's another reason why we're doing this right now. Because we're helping you discover what you really want to create in your life, okay? So how many people have read The Secret? Okay. How many of you read manifesting books? Okay. So yes, we are taking some principles from all of them, but we're also integrating the divine power in all this. But it's true, I truly believe when you focus on what you don't want, you create what you don't want. So if you're focused on, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough money, what are you always experiencing? Right. I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat. What are you seeing in the mirror? Okay? How many of you have these thoughts going through your head in different ways? I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. I'm comparing that's a huge one, comparing yourself to others. So when you're focused in your thoughts, then your actions become focused on what you don't want. So it's a gift to realize, okay, this is what I want to let go of. This is what I don't want in my life. Okay? But you have to realize that when you leave here today, are you still focusing on what you don't want? Or are you focusing on what you're going to manifest? Because guess what? The universe obeys everything you ask. So if you say, I really want a new job where I'm valued, I'm appreciated, I'm making more than enough money, and you walk out of here and you keep affirming, there's not a job out there for me. There's no jobs out there. I can't get a job. What are you going to experience? You're going to have to fake it till you make it. Okay, that's my motto. Fake it till you make it. Okay, remember my little picture on the... Okay? Fake it till you make it. So you're going to have to tell yourself, when people come in, and this is the biggest thing I see with private clients, they're saying more negative thoughts about themselves than they are positive. So that one of the suggestions that I give them and ask them to, every time you have a negative thought of yourself, you have to say 2 positive thoughts. What does that do? That changes your life. So you're going to have to catch yourself when you're saying, there's not any jobs out there. There's not one for me. It's not close. I can't get it. It doesn't exist. Stop, stop, cancel, cancel. I use the big red X. Cancel, cancel. And change it. I'm going to find the perfect job at the perfect place at the perfect pay for me. And that's what you've got to program. You have to imagine yourself working in an environment that's fabulous. I imagine this place. I knew when people walked in the door, this is how I imagine they come in the door. Oh, this is cool. Oh, I feel something here. And you know how many people walk through that door and they're like, oh, wow. And that's what I started visualizing before when I started to speak. All I visualized that I would come up on stage, I'd shine in my light, all of a sudden my dimmer switch kept going up, and with divine light combined with my light. I'd be shining, I'd be illuminating, and all of a sudden everybody in the room would start remembering what they needed to know or their divine magnificence, and all of a sudden I saw little dimmer switches in everybody in the audience, and everybody's dimmer switch would start brightening up, and the whole room would be filled with light by the time I finished speaking. And then everybody would rush to my table, come buy my books, my CDs, and say, Karen, oh my God, the best experience. Ask Louie. Louie was a witness to it, was it 2 or 3 years ago at the Natural Living Expo, when I had been visualizing this for a year, and all of a sudden I was getting bombarded, huh, Louie? He had to drive back from Sturbridge to, were we in Abington at the time? And get more books because I sold out of all my books. It was crazy. But it was like I had been holding that visualization for years, and all of a sudden there's nothing more. It's called grace, when all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I'm here. I'm here. And this is what happens. You have things on your your wish list. Now, I've been doing this for years, so I can go back and check off things. And you know what it feels like to say, whoo, did that, okay? Check off even the wish list of Louie and the house, checking everything off. Can't believe that it's all checked off. Like, that's the biggest joy when you go back to your list year after year and you're checking off. And then you see things that aren't checked off and you're like, that's okay. I know why that didn't happen, because this happened. It is joyful and exciting, and then you want to experience more of it. You're like, this is fun, I'm going to do it again. So when you know what you don't want, you can create more powerfully what you do want. How many times you don't even realize how much you're focusing on what you don't want? The biggest shock to me, when I went off all sugars and carbs, I was angry. Okay? Everybody was at Thanksgiving. They were having their cake and pies, and they were having their wine, and I'm sitting there, my protein and my vegetables, and the only thing you can have to drink is club soda and vodka, which I hate vodka. And I'm sitting there, you know, or a Bloody Mary. They were making me a Bloody Mary. I'm like, oh, this is awful. And I was angry. I was so angry. And then over the holidays, I got shingles. Like, is that crazy? And you know what it was? It was all the detoxing of the sugars and the emotional